Can you imagine this entire project was developed, designed, and drawn in the Procreate app? Here it is. Oh, and by the way, this is the kitchen, which is also part of this hand-drawn project. This is the drawing app, which runs on Apple only, and in my opinion, this is the #1 app for interior design, interior decoration, architecture, and other creative projects. Once again, this is the floor plan, which was drawn in the Procreate app completely from scratch based on this floor plan. So first I imported it, and after that I raised all the walls in perspective, followed by applying colors, shadows, and all the final details, the before and after. Which brings me to the topic of our today's video, which is 5 methods on how you can sketch a floor plan in the Procreate app only. Let's dive in. And the first approach is when you actually import a black and white floor plan into the Procreate app and start applying colors to it, and with other words, you start bringing it to life. Let me show you one of the floor plans I illustrated, and this is where I use this technique too. For instance, here, first I imported this computer floor plan. It can be either a PDF file or a JPEG picture. The quality doesn't matter, because you see this quality is a little bit blurry, right? But all you have to do is to lower the opacity of this imported layer so that you can see your own contours, and based on it, you're gonna want to start outlining the furniture. The cool thing about this particular approach is that it is to scale. You don't need to do anything, but I know what you might be asking now. Is it possible to draw to scale in the Procreate app? Yes, of course it is! And spoiler alert, you're gonna want to work with the drawing guide feature, which can be activated in the canvas settings. Let's try it out together. First, I'm going to navigate to the canvas options, toggle the drawing guide option on, click edit drawing guide, and this is the 2D grid, the perspective, the symmetry, as well as the isometric feature. So the 2D grid is the best one. Here, you're gonna want to adjust the color so that you can actually see the grid. And the logic behind working with the 2D grid is that the number of these tiny squares represents the number of your dimensions. Whether you work with the metric or imperial system, the approach will remain the same. For instance, if the length of your bed is 2 meters, if we talk about the metric system, then you're gonna want to define 2 squares and position them inside your bed. If you work with feet or inches, you're gonna want to do the same. Simply adjust the number of your squares and start working with them. So I'm going to close the drawing guide menu so that it doesn't distract me. And let's move on to the next stage when it comes to bringing a black and white floor plan to life. And the next stage is called applying colors and getting rid of all the white spots. So when you already have all of your contours created, you're gonna want to disable the visibility of the imported floor plan. After that, you're gonna want to start adding color to your floor plan. Here we don't need any details, nothing. The important thing at this particular stage is to simply get rid of the white background, apply all the shadows and all these things. And at this stage, we usually experiment with colors, different design solutions, textures, because this is the easiest stage for your revisions, and especially it is a super handy feature when it comes to revisions in front of your client. So let's say your client doesn't really like these styles or something like that, and you can simply pick this layer somewhere here, recolor it, and here we go. In less than 10 seconds and 20 seconds, you have your new design solution. How amazing is that? When you're done with your colors and you define the color scheme, you can move on to the final details. And this is my favorite stage, to be honest. So first of all, I'd like to bring my initial floor plan back. And these are the magic details. This is what I call them, because in my opinion, this is where the magic happens. This is where you can actually show your artistic soul to your client, to your colleagues, or to your boss. Look, before and after, before and after. The right brush brings the right result, and not every brush can draw like that. So this is the method #1. Once again, summing it up. First, you're gonna want to pick a file or a JPEG picture of the floor plan which needs to be redesigned and brought to life. And after that, based on it, you can start developing your design concept. Let's go. Let's go. What does it mean, let's go? Let's move on to the approach number 2. And this approach is called working with the contours of the floor plan. This floor plan needs some time, right? Here we need to outline all the furniture, walls manually. But what if you don't really have time for that? And I have you covered too, because there is a fantastic approach which is called the automatic tool. First, you pick the floor plan which needs to be redesigned again, and instead of having to redraw all of these walls and furniture items again, all you need to do is to simply get rid of the white background. Let's do it together. First of all, we're going to disable the visibility of the background color, and with the rectangular selection tool, we're going to get rid of the general white background, like this. Here we aren't focusing on any details. Goodbye the white color. So after that, we're going to switch to the automatic selection tool, and in a blink of an eye, we're going to get rid of all the remaining white colors. But at the same time, the black colors aren't affected. So the automatic selection tool is very helpful when it comes to many details. Once you're done with selecting your background, all you have to do is to click this arrow and get rid of the white background, and just look at this before and after. And then don't forget to bring the layer with the white background back, create a new layer, position it below the layer with the contours so that you can see the black furniture here. And at this stage, you can apply colors without any problems. And you see, the contours aren't affected at all. You can do whatever you like, and at the same time, the apartment is visible. But I know what you might be thinking now. Why on earth should we get rid of the white background? Can we just draw over it? Well, I got you covered here too. So let's imagine this is our floor plan. I'm going to import it once again. This is our floor plan, the same one, but here we didn't get rid of the white background, exactly as you just asked. If we create a new layer above it, the following is gonna happen. We're drawing above the contours. If we create this layer below the layer with the initial floor plan, we can't see anything. And that's why it's better, to spend a couple of more minutes, but after that, you're flexible to go and do whatever you want here in the Procreate app. I hope it makes sense, and let's move on to the drawing approach on how to sketch a floor plan in the Procreate app number 3, which is called creating from scratch with the help of the drawing guide option. I already mentioned it today, right? And let me show it to you in more detail. I'm going to find one of my projects for my 3D Drawing Academy where I showed my students how to work with this kind of approach. So I'm going to get rid of this empty canvas. And this is one of the floor plans, which was created completely from scratch without any PNG files, without any PDF files, without any JPEG pictures. So first we just created this canvas. And after that, we started drawing this floor plan without anything. We just had our dimensions, our pans, and the overall idea of what our apartment would look like. That's all. How was that possible? First of all, we created a 2D grid with the help of the drawing guide option. I already showed it to you earlier in this video. According to the dimensions, we created the final contours. You see, and once again, because we used a very sharp pen without any pencil texture, so for instance, currently I'm drawing with a pencil, and you see the texture doesn't suit me at all. Because when it comes to creating floor plans, whether they are from scratch or based on computer models, it's crucial that the lines are sharp, they are dense, so that we can drag the color inside the selection super easily. Whereas all these furniture items, they were drawn with a completely different brush. You see, the texture isn't dense at all. And that brings me to a very important aspect on how you can master digital drawing tool with a clear step-by-step roadmap, with all the brushes, and with a detailed mentorship, which is me. Remember that project I showed you earlier in this video? I filmed a detailed step-by-step tutorial on how to design the exact same collage in the Procreate app. And yes, there I also covered the creation of this floor plan completely from scratch. So if you'd like to create your own collage in the Procreate app with my step-by-step guidance and achieve the exact same result, make sure to register here. It is completely free. It is a 2-hour drawing workshop where, in addition to the drawing part, I also explained all the benefits of digital drawing, how to use it professionally, how to benefit from it, how to stand out among your competitors, among your peers, among your colleagues, and how you can actually impress your clients. Once again, this is gonna be the exact same project you'll be designing. Hope to see you there, and let's continue our work. So that was the approach number 3. Once again, first we enable the visibility of the 2D grid inside the drawing guide option. Then we adjusted the 2D grid so that it is perfectly to scale. And after that, we simply created our own floor plan with all the dimensions. That brings me to the next approach, the 4th approach, which is working with PNG libraries. Some of these furniture items were integrated. So yes, first, of course, I created them manually, but it was just once. And after that, I was able to reuse that PNG set in different project types. Let me show it to you. And this is, by the way, the set that we're also creating together with my students in my 3D Drawing Academy. This is where I teach you how to draw, like me, all those hand-drawn spaces, floor plans, bird's eye views, collages, exteriors, like the variety is so endless. Anyway, back to our PNG file. First of all, you're gonna want to create a separate canvas here inside the Procreate app. It should be the best resolution possible, otherwise the next copy will be a little bit blurry. So the more copies you create, the more blurry they become. And that's why it's better to create the best resolution possible right from the start. Once you're done, you're gonna want to disable the visibility of the background color, and using the freehand selection tool, you're gonna want to pick the furniture item you'd like to have in your sketch. For instance, here I'd like to have, let's say, this armchair. I'm going to select its contour, swipe 3 fingers down the screen, click copy, and after that, I'm going to open up the floor plan I'd like to use this armchair for, swipe 3 fingers down the screen again, click paste, and voila, here you go. After that, I'm going to adjust its dimensions more or less. Of course, at the same time, I can enable the visibility of the 2D grid, and according to this, I'm going to adjust the proportions of my armchair. Once you're done with the proportions, you're gonna want to position it where needed. Voila, my armchair is here. And the cool thing is that on one hand, you have your PNG libraries, which look standard, right? Like the bus stop is a bus stop no matter where it is, right? But at the same time, you can add your personal touch to the line so that your project looks unique. And let me show you this furniture set as well. You see, you can create many sets, like it doesn't matter what exactly will be inside. Let's move on to the Procreate technique on creating floor plans number 5. And I'm currently looking at my list because I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget anything. Let me double check everything. Import a black and white floor plan, done. From scratch using drawing guide, done. Removing background, done. PNGs, grids, done. And the 5th method is quick sketches, as simple as it sounds. That means that our iPad will be acting as a physical sketchbook. All you have to do is to change the color, pick the brush, and start creating. This is gonna be your sketchbook. And the cool thing is that after that, you can print all of your sketches out, all of your projects out. And by the way, these are, of course, printed version. And here on my desk, I have a couple of more examples. And this is what my sketches look like in a printed version. Aren't they gorgeous? All the colors are so striking. The entire concept is visible. At the same time, the project truly looks unique because I don't know about you, but my entire life I've been hating computer programs. In my opinion, they are way too technical, they are way too complex, and for someone like me, for a creative person who would like to just create, try out colors and designs without having to think about, all those endless buttons, those programs were too overwhelming for me. And even during my interior design studies, I was avoiding computer renders. Instead, I was creating quick sketches like these, for instance. I was super happy, professors were happy too. Yeah, this is exactly why I kept sketching and now it's my full-time job. So that's it for this video. Thanks so much for staying till the end. Once again, don't forget to attend this drawing workshop to create your own collage, because here we'll be covering multiple drawing techniques, starting with drawing this floor plan. Then we're going to move on to integrating some of the pieces of furniture, and also we'll be drawing these textures. And of course, at the end, I'll also be showing you how to create a harmonious composition, because it's not just enough, you know, to create a collage there, to create a floor plan there, and all these things, but it's crucial that your project actually looks harmonious and stylish, right? By the way, let me show you a couple of more collages which I designed here in the Procreate app. For instance, this is one of my faves. Hand-drawn, integrated, partially, hand-drawn. A couple of more collages for you. Oh, and by the way, this collage is a hand-drawn collage which you'll also be sketching with my guidance. I filmed a detailed tutorial on how to draw the exact same collage for all the workshop participants. So first you attend this workshop where you're gonna be designing this fabulous collage, and after that, at the end, you're gonna get another step-by-step detailed video tutorial on how to design this fabulous collage and how to sketch it completely from scratch, because all of these elements are hand-drawn, only the marble texture was integrated. So at the end, you'll have created 2 collages, 2 interior design concepts which will become part of your portfolio. So once again, that's it. I appreciate you and see you in the next video. Bye bye.